Most diets start with a simple, punishing mathematical rule: cut your calories. But for anyone who has tried this, the reality is usually a cycle of exhaustion and a constant, unyielding hunger. The problem stems from how we view those calories. We treat human digestion like a furnace, assuming that 100 calories of broccoli and 100 calories of soda burn exactly the same way. But this scale shows the missing variable: satiety, or the physical feeling of fullness. When you compare a food's caloric value to its actual satiety value, the equation is often heavily skewed. Certain highly processed items are biologically formulated to entirely bypass the chemical signals that tell your brain you've had enough to eat. To successfully lose weight, you have to eliminate these illusion foods. They load your body with extra calories while leaving you physically starving. The human brain struggles to register liquid calories in the exact same way it does solid food, creating a dangerous dietary loophole. This flowchart compares digesting solid versus liquid foods. Lacking chewing and fiber, fruit juice slips right past the mechanisms triggering your full signal. As a result, liquid calories stack right on top of your normal daily intake. The primary culprits here are sugary sodas, store-bought fruit juices stripped of natural fiber, and heavily sweetened coffee drinks packed with cream and sugar. Certain types of alcohol, particularly beer, fall into this same category. They deliver dense calories without offering any nutritional satiety to slow down your consumption. Warning tone: drinking your calories is a fast way to run a massive caloric surplus because your body never officially registers that you fed it. The next trap comes from foods that have been artificially stripped of their most crucial appetite-regulating nutrients: protein and fiber. This line graph shows the glycemic index in action. When eating highly refined carbohydrates, your blood sugar spikes rapidly, followed by an immediate crash. Hitting this low point triggers a false starvation alarm, sparking severe hunger shortly after eating. You find this profile in everyday staples like white bread and commercial pizza crusts, as well as heavily processed pastries, cookies, and cakes. The impact is measurable. A study of 9,000 people found eating 2 slices of white bread a day was linked to a 40% greater risk of becoming overweight. Eating stripped carbs traps you in a biological cycle: a brief moment of fullness followed by intense cravings, making a caloric deficit nearly impossible. The final trap involves foods engineered to pack exceptionally high amounts of sugar, fat, and refined flour into a tiny physical footprint. In this stomach diagram, small, calorie-dense foods fail to stretch the walls, keeping fullness receptors completely inactive. Offenders include candy and fries, but potato chips pose an outsized threat, flooding the body with calories without taking up physical space. Then there are the stealth density bombs. Manufacturers frequently pump massive amounts of added sugar into so-called low-fat or fat-free flavored yogurts to compensate for flavor lost when fat is removed. Relying on a small package size or a low-fat label is dangerous. These items deliver maximum caloric impact while offering zero physical satiation. Sustainable weight loss requires trading these illusion foods for meals that actively communicate with your body's fullness receptors. Keeping your stomach physically full and your blood sugar stable means prioritizing foods that are naturally high in both protein and fiber. You can close the liquid loophole by eating whole fruits instead of drinking their juice. And you can stabilize your blood sugar by swapping white bread for Ezekiel or whole grain alternatives. To avoid the density bombs, replace sugary lattes with black coffee and swap heavily sweetened low-fat yogurts for plain Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries. You also have to give your brain time to process these fullness cues. Slowing down and paying attention to each bite, a practice known as mindful eating, helps ensure the signal actually reaches your brain before you overeat. Long-term weight management relies on selecting foods that harmonize with human biology, rather than hacking it to induce overeating.